Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Vrijanayandana Yashodanandana Vrijanayandana Yashodanandana Vrijanayandana Yamuna Tira Vanadati Yamuna Tira Vanadati Elora Madhoma Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunavadi Pashadadeshatari Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Prabhupada used to many times delight in this. There was once Prabhupada was traveling on an aeroplane and a priest met him and he said, I want to talk to you. So Prabhupada said yes. So why you are so devotee, so bright-faced? And that was a great pride for Prabhupada. Yes, he used to many times tell in lectures. People tell you people are all bright-faced. He used to encourage them like that. In fact, there is one more instance, one mother comes to meet Prabhupada and she says, she's talking to Prabhupada and she said, I seem so happy. Prabhupada said, yes, he's happy. But actually we come from happy family, he was always happy. The Prabhupada said, oh, can't you see he's happier now? So how is it that anybody comes to Krishna consciousness becomes happy? Because Krishna is always happy. See, life also. We make friends with somebody who is happy. Okay? You make friends with somebody who is always sad. What is the point? We want to be happy. Anandamaya Bhyasa. We are looking for happiness. Krishna, when he was even killing the demons, he was laughing. At least at that time we will be in tension. We have small things in our life. Small. Actually, everything is under control of Krishna. Small. Sometimes it happens, some big accident happens, some person's body is ripped apart and he dies. And you think that at least at this time God should be sad. And God at that time also smiling. At any situation he is smiling. Why is it so? Now this is not easy to understand. He is always smiling. Because Paramatma has got the business to manage this world. Krishna is not involved. Krishna is playing with his pastime. So Krishna's smile is different. Krishna's smile is because Radharani is dancing next to him. Krishna's smile is not easy to understand. Take it. But the management of the universe he has delegated to Paramatma. They are all one person, but still, this is inconceivable potency of Krishna. Ekam Sena Sito Jagat. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, one amsha of me manages this whole universe, or all the billions of universes. That is the Paramatma feature of the Lord, in charge of management of this world. Either you say that Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Shirodaksha Vishnu. These three Vishnus together, this universe is their headache. Krishna is not going to get involved. He plays his flute, and even in this world when Krishna killed the demons, actually he didn't kill. His expansions take care of Krishna. Just like suppose somebody comes outside a place and starts shouting. Now we don't get involved. If somebody is there, we say, can you handle it? Correct? If there is somebody. So even big people do that. This world. Their bodyguards, they take care of it. They are busy with their peaceful life. So how is it that Krishna is always smiling? And most important, the Paramatma expansion of the Lord, which is non-different from the Lord. At the same time, who is in charge of the management of this world? All details of tamasha going in this world are known to him. Still he is smiling. Always smiling. Why is it so? The first thing is the very nature of the Lord is Anandameva Bhyasa. Correct? Sachidananda, every jiva, including the Lord, everybody is seeking happiness. But Lord is Atmaraman, is fully satisfied in himself. The nature, happiness is the nature, but the Lord is always happy. It is said that Akhila Rasa Amrita Sindhu is the source of unlimited happiness. All the rasas emanate from him. So by the very nature, Anandameva Bhyasa, or you say, Swarat, he is independent in his own happiness. He is fully satisfied in himself. That is the nature of God. But we can't be happy independent of Krishna. Paramatma is happy, just like there is somebody who is always happy. He doesn't depend on you to be happy, that is only Krishna. Krishna doesn't depend on anybody for his happiness. He is always satisfied. But just to expand his spiritual pleasure, it emanates into unlimited living entities. But not that he is dependent on them for his happiness. He is always happy, somebody comes and joins with him in his spiritual happiness. He can have beautiful loving reciprocation with them. That's fine. But it's not that Krishna is, there once one devotee made a picture. Because there is an instance when Krishna cannot find Radharani. And Krishna at that time sits down, as if sad. So somebody, one devotee, when he heard this pastime, made a picture of Krishna sitting sad because Radharani is not there. Prabhupada said, no, never publish this picture. You never understood. People will misunderstand. Krishna is always happy. People even understand, some people say that, how did Krishna leave the gopis and his parents, and he made them so much happy. Recently, somebody was asking so many questions one after another. Why did that Lord Rama left Sita? Why did he kill? So many. But the mistake people do is before you go and study the Leela of the Lord, you should first understand, I am not body, I am spirit. So I immediately ask him, what do you think is the essence of Gita? The essence of Gita is do your duty without any reserve. A very elderly, respected person. I said, tell me one thing, can you follow this? He said, actually very difficult to follow this. Then I said, you don't know, the essence is we are not body, we are a spirit soul. What is all this, do your duty and all we are talking about? Arjuna wanted to do is, so many things. Bhagavad Gita is on a different platform. So people don't understand actually the real factor. But anyway, here let us meditate on Krishna's smile. Krishna is always smiling. Always he is happy. So suppose somebody is always smiling. You first go and ask him, what is the secret? And today what happens, some students were telling me, generally people who are happy are the people who see happy or show happiness are the people who have more facility for sense gratification. That's all. And then we also start hankering for that. Because society makes a landmark. You should have this to become happy, you should have this to become happy, you should achieve this to become happy. And a person who has that, just like they say if you get a job in Facebook, that person is supposed to be happy. But actually if you meet him, he is not happy. That may not be the fact. In that RS1 road, you remember there was a house, just next to us, that house Krishna. Ours was Krishna Kasturi. There was one more house, big house, huge. So we used to think he must be the happiest person. Well, such a bungalow in the important road must be really special person. And we never thought of inviting him. We thought he's anyway happy. So one day, we somehow went to his house for some purpose. We never saw anybody so depressed. He said, my wife has not left the house for the last 3 years. I said, why? Some death occurred. So her son died and she is in acute depression. So see, Krishna is not like that. He is not happy because he owns all the universes. He is not happy because all these material principles. Krishna by nature is very happy. By nature. Krishna was when there is independent of the external situation. When he was playing as a coward boy, he was very happy. Brahma got a shock. How can God be doing this ordinary activity? It's very just like you see how outside somebody is taking care of a cow. It's a very ordinary activity. But Krishna was still supremely happy. So his happiness is independent of all this situation. So we meditate on the Paramatma, and one of the meditation. This chapter, the book volume has a picture of Paramatma because it's one of the exclusive things of this place. It doesn't come in any other portion. So much meditation on the Paramatma. The shlokas go on one after another, meditation on the Paramatma. The main thing is that the meditation of the Paramatma in the heart is always happy. So what I have to worry for? It's like you go to a big institution and you meet the head. He is smiling all the time. Then what I have to worry for? He knows all the problem with all the condition, tension. If he is happy, what I have to be sad for? Because everything is under control of Krishna. Krishna knows everything that is going on. Everything. Therefore Prabhupada makes a famous statement. What is that? There is nothing lamentable in the kingdom of God. If you open the TV, the newspaper, here this happened, and people are crying, this should not have happened, this should not have happened. They Delhi recently, they did full jalous. Lakhs of youngsters came on the street, this should not have happened. They're feeling sad. And many people question this fact also. What was God doing? Draupadi protected, why didn't he protect that girl? This is a famous question running around on the net. But the point is this, even with all that, even with the ghastly, somebody getting killed at that moment, Krishna is smiling. How can Krishna smile at that moment? This question will come, obviously. Sometimes devotee also may feel, Krishna should have done something at that moment. Okay? Why didn't Krishna do anything? But the point is, did that person, just like we are here now, we may have some difficulty, we want to do some service to Krishna, some difficulty may be there. So the question comes then, why does Krishna not personally participate? Or take an example, why doesn't that, whoever the head of the country, say Manmohan Singh or Sonia Gandhi, why don't they personally participate? Do I have a personal relationship first? Do I have? If I have a personal relationship with, say, Manmohan Singh, any problem I have in course of anything which I am doing, immediately will personally participate. Prabhupada gave a very nice example. He says, suppose the king is there and his son falls into the water, he personally jumps to save him. If somebody else falls into the water, he tells his guard, you jump. So for a devotee, there was a famous instance on Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I personally carry what they lack and preserve what they have. LIC symbol. What is the shloka? Yes. Okay. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Prabhupada, these are the favorite shlokas of Prabhupada. Ye jana pariyapaste. Tesham nityaviyuktanam yogakshema mahavya. So there is the famous story of there was a Acharya, and it is a leader of the Lord because he is an exalted Acharya. He cannot make mistake. Ramanujacharya's guru, Yamunacharya. He has given the famous shloka. We read the famous shloka? That whenever I think of sex desire, I spit. That is his own shloka. Very exalted personality. Correct? That is Yamunacharya only now. Yes. So what happened? The same exalted personality. One day he was writing commentation on Bhagavad. Prabhupada says any great personality, spiritual personality, should give literature. Because they are always in samadhi on Krishna and they reveal. In our heart, if we reveal, people will run away. We just can repeat the words of Prabhupada. Our heart we can't reveal. Our heart is filled with dangerous things. So here is a Yamunacharya, and that exalted person. And he's reading, giving commentary on Bhagavad Gita. So when he saw this statement, he thought, Krishna is saying here, personally I carry over the land. Why will Krishna, Vaikuntha-natha, Goloka-natha will do that? It is Sri Sampradaya. Vaikuntha-natha will do that. So, he will make somebody do it. He will arrange for it. And he wrote like that. You know the story, famous story. And then what happened? So, he went for taking his bath, and at that time, 2 boys came to the home. Just like these 2 boys are there. Small boys. And they are carrying a palanquin. And beautiful boys carrying a palanquin. Very beautiful. And the palanquin, they brought it there and they kept it. And so the wife of, he's of the Grihastha ashram. The wife of the Yamunacharya, she came out. And she saw that both the boys had marks of being beaten up on the back. Somebody had given party. Tama, tama. So she asked him, what is all this going on? She said, see, your husband, he beat us very nicely. And he told us to deliver all this to the home. So she was actually, as a wife, she was waiting for, in the Vedic culture, wife will not eat before the husband, generally. So she says, so she says, some food is there, you people can have. Just like we invite people, please take prasad, you have come to the temple. He said, no, he will come anytime and beat us more, we run away. We run away. Just like children, they run anyway. And now what happens is that Yamunacharya comes back home and he sees his wife is eating. That was a sign of protest and anger. I will eat before you. It's like, what do you think of yourself? So he was really surprised. Generally it doesn't happen. But anyway, he's an exalted personality. He doesn't take any offense. And then he says, now Yamunacharya, she will not take the name. My dear husband, what is all this going on? And I heard now you have become like this, you are beating children. What is the explanation? What is this behavior? So he says, what are you telling? Why will I beat anybody? She says, see, 2 boys came and they delivered all these things which you don't have in the house. They may be having shortage of some ghee or something. All the things which they need in the house, all delivered. Which maybe they have been thinking for these things, all delivered. So he says, tell me the description of the boys. No, one of them was, a little sham in color, very beautiful, unimaginably beautiful. I start describing the features, one peacock feather. He says, he was Krishna. Other boy, the description, he's the Acharya. He said, that was Balaram. And then he started thinking, yes, because I doubted the words of Krishna. Correct? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, if devotee has any shortage, I will supply. But I doubted, I thought, why Krishna has to personally supply? He will do through somebody. Correct? So Krishna proved it. But now you see a personal intervention of the Lord. And why the marks on the back? Because I tried to change Krishna's meaning. Because I tried to change Krishna's word. Yesterday somebody was telling me, no, ultimately there are so many interpretations of Bhagavad Gita. So I asked him, so what are you going to do then? No, I think I should have my own interpretation. I said, my own. I said, one class I will take just on this topic. But the moment I'm waiting for that, you can see it on the YouTube. So anyway, so the point is that we have no right to interpret Krishna's word. It's a great offense to interpret Krishna's word. Whatever Krishna has given, the first hearer of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna. Correct? Arjuna does not say, Krishna, you told me so many things, I'm going to change it. Which chapter is Ananya Chaitanya? So anyway, in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, the famous statement, Arjuna, Param Brahma, Param Dhamam, Varitam Pravaram. Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devamajam. He says, my dear Lord, you are the Supreme Personality, Param Brahma, Param Dham, Pavitram Param. You are the purest personality. So Prabhupada makes a comment on that point in many lectures. The way Arjuna has understood, we have to follow. We have no right, because first hearer of Bhagavad Gita is Arjuna. The way Arjuna have understood, you please follow that understanding. 922. Now in 10th chapter, Arjuna is making this statement. He says, Krishna, I will follow every word that you say. What is the shloka? I will follow. Sarvam etam manye yadavadasi Keshava. Krishna, I accept every word. Sarvam. Prabhupada comments on this point many times. Sarvam. When you are trying to make an interpretation, then what happens? Who knows? You will only accept what you like to accept, and you reject what you don't like to accept. Just like it happened to Bible. They didn't like the theory of reincarnation in one king. He removed that portion itself. Now the book doesn't have that portion itself out. You know? So this is not the way to accept. Then what is the authority of Krishna? And how we can accept Krishna's authority? We accept our own authority. Krishna says something we don't like. So if you go this kind of an explanation, then you cannot smile all the time. Okay? It's not true. So therefore, we have to approach through the Acharya, through the exalted personality of an Acharya. And we come to know. We come to know. Exactly we come to know. In fact, it is said that the first two cantos of Bhagavatam are like the two lotus feet of Krishna. Okay? And then third, we are in the lotus feet only, that is second canto. And the third canto, fourth canto, like gradually we go up, we go up. Now the more and more pastimes of Krishna start opening up in different leelas. First two cantos more or less give the foundation. Just like if you see Chaitanya Charitamrita also, many people like to jump. Because at the beginning, there is a description, who is Lord Chaitanya, why did he appear, who is Nityananda, who is Advaita Acharya. And when you want to read, you will directly want to jump to Madhya Leela. I want to read the pastimes. Okay, for the devotees who know, that's fine. But otherwise we should read. We have to read. There is a need. Why it hasn't put? It is needed. Similarly, we read Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, what is there? Only the list of warriors is there. There is no need. We again want to jump. Okay. No, we can't jump. We should not jump. Go systematically. Prabhupada says, even for Bhagavatam, please read it in the introduction. Chapter after chapter. Even in Bhagavad Gita it says, read it chapter after chapter. Prabhupada said the mistake of the Sahajiyas is, why is it that, in the common people have this so much confusion about Leelas of the Lords? Why they are so confused? Some people say Ravana was also very great personality. A very great personality. True, as Jaya Vijay, he was a great personality. But what is his great personality? He stole the wife of the Lord himself. Why you say he is a great personality? They are so confused. Because why is the mass in India so confused? Prabhupada said that that's a reason in India very difficult to spread Krishna consciousness. Correct? So many doubts there. And you have to spend hours and hours to clear those doubts. Yeah. Prabhupada gave an example. Suppose somebody knows Mridanga wrong. Then if you want to teach him, then it is impossible. Because first you have to teach him that what you are playing is wrong. And then you have to teach him how to play. Correct? If he doesn't know, you can teach him in half an hour. If he knows wrong, then we will forget what we know also. They have this famous statement, don't try to argue with a fool. He will make you also fool and then beat you with shoes. That is a famous statement. Actually, it is like that. So that is the situation in India. People have become so foolish sometimes. They directly want to jump into the pastimes of the Lord. Then they cannot understand. It will go step by step. Gradually we have to go. And there are some people, Prabhupada says they want to speak Bhagavad Sapta. Very popular it is. Bhagavad Sapta. In North India, very popular. Some of South India, not seen so much, but in North India it is very popular. Bhagavad Saptas. Even in Vrindavan they keep running. And who gives the Bhagavad Saptas? Mostly the Mayavadis who don't understand the leader of the Lord at all. And they directly jump quickly into Rasa Leela. Prabhupada gives a statement. Parikshit Maharaj had only how many days remaining in his life? 7 days. And you know, in the second canto, the description of the universe in a brief will be there. So many things will be described here. Parikshit Maharaj could have requested Shukadeva Goswami, please hurry up. What, sir, only 7 days are remaining and you are explaining how universe came, how hellish planets are there. Why you are wasting my time? Why don't we rush immediately to Krishna Leela? Prabhupada says neither the master was in a hurry, neither the student was in a hurry. So gradually it is developed. So that to come to the lotus face of Krishna, that is the 10th canto. And in the 10th canto, there is Krishna's dealing with the gopis, 3-4 chapters. That is the smile on the face of Krishna. Figuratively, if you want to describe the Bhagavatam, it is like that. So we cannot directly jump, gradually, step by step. And we can understand. So Paramatma is always smiling. In fact, sometimes in meditation, many people say, you can always, few minutes solve it. Many times we go to people, so what do you practice for spiritual life? I do some meditation. On what do you meditate? He will not know. He will not know on what he is meditating. What he is doing, he doesn't know. Then you tell meditation is on something, no? Correct, it's on something. That is on the Lord. Dhyana avastadgadena manasa pashanti yama yogina. The yogi meditates on the lotus feet of the Lord, situated in his heart. So that is what is described here in the shloka. The Paramatma is in everybody's heart, measuring how much? From here to here. On a scale you count how much it comes? 8 inches. But then that is a transcendental form of the Lord, not some, a gross form like ours. Your hand is small. It is 8 inches by, if you do by scale. Correct? And but what is the form of feature of Krishna now? If they have so much in the hospital, they have no scan, is there X-ray scan? Can we see Krishna standing with Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma and smiling? You can't see. Why? Why we cannot see? X-ray scan, we should see. Why did not do? They ask many people this question. The point is that seeing is dependent on the phenomena. I am sitting here. Light comes, hits me, then hits your eyes. Correct? If it is dark, can you see me? You will not even know I am sitting and giving class. Correct? If it is dark, you cannot see anything. So seeing is not independent. When it is dark in the night, I get scared because I cannot see anything. So my seeing is dependent on a phenomena. Paramatma, the phenomena will not work. Light will come, hit him and go inside. It will not come out only. So you will not be able to see. Krishna is completely on a transcendental plane. So this Paramatma has some more features to complete the discussion. It has a feature of Anumanta and Upadishta. There is what is the shloka which says that on a tree the Samana Vrikshe. Anybody knows the shloka? The two birds are sitting on the same tree. Two birds are sitting on the same tree. Shisha also doesn't know. Samana Vrikshe is there. Okay? No. Some people do like this. We used to go for life membership previously when I was in Bangalore. And there was a boy, Harinam. What he used to do? He was a young boy. When he joined, he was, I think, only 15 years old. He was too clever. Because he knows when he speaks shlokas, people immediately become very impressed and give donation also. He will just create a shloka. So we cannot Samana Vrikshe, we can't do that. There is a shloka actually. So it says that in the same tree, two birds are sitting. One bird is, that is a picture also in Gita, eating the fruits of the tree. And sometimes the fruits are very sweet. Sometimes the fruits are bitter. But the next bird is sitting to it. What are you doing? Come, let's go. And it wants to take us. Let us fly back home, back to Vaikuntha. What are you doing? Wasting your time here. The same way, the Paramatma is also watching. And it is so much watching, it does not blame the eye. Therefore, devotee knows Krishna is in complete control in no situation. Devotee is happy. He sees an examination paper. Habba, so tough. Krishna is smiling. I also smile. So Samana Viksha is always situated, Krishna is always in any condition of life. We know Krishna is complete control. And there is no, when Krishna is happy, there is no question of us being unhappy. We are very peaceful. So what is the Paramatma doing in the heart? What is it doing? What is it doing? Mata Smriti Jnana Apohanamcha. It gives smriti, it gives remembrance. Because we always keep planning in the core of our heart, so many desires are sitting. Sometimes you see somebody going in a huge car, we also feel how it will be if I am going one day on this car. So we have all these desires in the core of our heart. Therefore Prabhupada says for a devotee, you should be very careful. Why? Bhogeshwarya prasakta nam taya pita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhana vidya. If the devotee, when he sees somebody enjoying, forget about doing enjoyment, then it's over. If he sees somebody enjoying, taya aprita chetasam, either he personally desires or he gets enchanted by somebody doing that activity, either of bhoga and aishwarya. Bhoga means a gross enjoyment. He is eating some nice mango. How is he enjoying? Some expensive chocolate. He is enjoying so much. So if you become enchanted, your heart becomes pierced by those desires of bhoga and aishwarya, your smile is over. You lose your smile from your face. Correct? Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya apita chetasam vyavasayatmika viddhi samadhauna vidiyate. Your fixed determination to serve Krishna and samadhi of Krishna will be lost. Therefore devotee is very, Prabhupada says the devotee is so simple. Why is so simple? Because he doesn't have these two things in his heart. He is not aspiring, when I will get that opportunity for bhoga or when I will get that opportunity for aishwarya. Both are in the same breath. Don't think aishwarya desire is less. It is going in the same breath, same sentence. Bhoga, aishwarya. It's rather sandhi, comes together only. So Krishna spoke in the same tone, correct? So these two things, if they develop within my heart, you see Srila Prabhupada, he was sitting in Vrindavan in a small desk. What was the desk? His own trunk many times. And he was sitting there writing the first canto of Bhagavatam, the commentary. You see the commentary of the first canto of Bhagavatam, so blissful. Sometimes small things are coming, Prabhupada elaborately explaining them. You know, the list of the people come to visit Parikshit Maharaj when he's on the deathbed, or when Bhishma is on the bed, you know, Parikshit Maharaj is about to leave the world. And when the Bhishma is on the deathbed, huge number of personalities collect. Prabhupada goes and explains each one of them briefly there. So peacefully. You can see how much person has to be peaceful and blissful to do that. Full faith, this movement will one day come into benefit. Why is it doing that? For Indians, you don't need that. They know. You don't have to explain in India, but nowadays you have to explain. At least in that time, not so much needed. Who is Kunti? Who is Draupadi? You know, each person is sitting and explaining peacefully there. Who is Parashurama? You know, peacefully. Aram. How much at peace he is at the lotus feet of the Lord. Even at that, nothing is there. In fact, they say those golden days in America when the movement was in the beginning. One of the devotees, I was recently reading memories by some devotees. I told some of them. So beautiful. Those are the most golden days. The first when 2-3 temples are there. So somebody questioned them why. He said, Prabhupada, the movement is always golden. But for us, when the movement exploded, when there was so much money, when there was so much power, many devotees became disturbed and sort of even politics entered. But in the beginning state, Prabhupada was always the same. Either in the beginning or till the end when he left the world. Always the same. Always the same peace at the lotus feet of Krishna. Why? Bhoga Shaiva cannot touch his heart. But the devotees, as the thing exploded, you know, so many temples are coming and huge movement is exploding. Whole movement is getting respected in public. Yeah? In the beginning, there was nobody knew them actually. Nobody knew them. Even one new person is like something. You know, those are the. In one sense, for us, they said we never created any disturbance with Prabhupada at that time. But later, We became attracted to so many distractions as the movement is exploding. So much money, power was coming into the hands of devotees, and they were getting disturbed. So the same way an Acharya exemplifies that. Prabhupada is always smiling, always at the lotus feet of Krishna. Devotee is so peaceful at all the time. Okay? So another important thing is that Paramatma, Mata Smriti, he gives remembrance. We desire something. Correct? We see somebody is wearing an expensive clothes, we see somebody is having an expensive toy, he is having that expensive cycle, I also want that. So the desire is now gone to the heart. Paramatma notes it. One day the desire will be satisfied. May not be this life. You have seen a bird, if I can fly like that, noted. You go to the ocean, you see a fish, you see an aquarium of fish, you say, I also want to swim like that, noted. Anything you see in a movie somebody doing something, noted. Each and single desire, not one desire Krishna neglects, noted, noted. Just like a father, any desire of the child, he fulfills it. He may not buy that expensive thing himself, he buy for the child, anything they do. But the question comes there, that Paramatma knows all the desires. But it cannot be fulfilled immediately. Not possible, no. You want to be, you see in the TV Obama, I want to be President of America. Noted. But now you have to take birth in America. Now so much nothing has to be done. They have a rule. The person should be an American born or something. They have this systems are there in America. So it has to be fulfilled when not with this life. You want to fly in the air, now you have to be made into bird. No? It is convenient. So many desires we cultivate, all have been fulfilled and millions of lives, Priti. We don't remember. Krishna arranges this condition for us. And then he says, you wanted to enjoy like that? Enjoy. Jnanam, fresh knowledge. Sometimes, just like many scientists also agree, they were actually stuck. The Benjamin famous example. So many things, actually they were stuck. Suddenly they get inspiration in the heart. It can be Jnanam. Krishna is correct. All of us also happen sometimes. There's something we are trying to do, suddenly we get a fresh knowledge. You can do like this, no? Even in the service of the Lord. Apohanam cha, and forgetfulness. Sometimes you forget something. So Krishna is in complete control of every situation. Complete control. We are dependent on Him. Completely we are dependent. Krishna who knows past, present, future, He knows. You have to be completely surrendered in that way. And then also another thing is that sometimes somebody may question then this Lord in the heart is giving me knowledge. Okay? So why doesn't He make me the richest man? Why doesn't He give me this knowledge that I should do this business, I should do that business, so I become the richest person in the world? I am His devotee, I am chanting, just like famous example there in Krishna book, that Lord Shiva's devotees are so rich, Krishna's devotees sometimes look poor. So why is it like Sudama or so poor? Why is it that Krishna neglects? He is Vaikunthanatha, but his devotees look so poor. So what is the real wealth of a devotee? The Goswamis, they left their wealth and they were so poor, sitting in Vrindavan below a tree, wearing only a langot. So was it that they have, if wealth is the proof of Krishna consciousness, they have lost their Krishna consciousness or what? Has Krishna neglected them? No. Tesham satatayuktaram bhajatam priti gurukam dadami buddhi yogam tam ye nama upendite. Krishna gives knowledge. Because in this world, you see, money, money, money sweeter than honey. Money, money, money sweeter than honey. That's the focus people have. Money means I am successful. But what does Krishna say? If you worship me, what do I do? I give the knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Ye nama upendite. By which you can come to me. Correct? So that is primary. The essence of a devotee is faith in the lotus feet of Krishna. Essence of a devotee is faith in the lotus feet of the spiritual master. That is the essence of a devotee. Essence of a devotee. These things are there, not there. That leave it to Krishna. And Prabhupada says at that point that he was quoting the Queen Kunti Shloka. And he says that that when she says, you take away everything, my Lord, she prays. What is the shloka? Sneha Pashanam Chindi. Take away all my attachments, everything, my Lord, you take away. I just want you. Just like a river Ganges flows to the ocean continuously. Yes, what is the shloka? Just like a river Ganges continuously. Tvai me ananya vishaya. He speaks so fast we don't know words. We wonder whether take it. So, just like a river Ganges is flowing to the ocean, let my consciousness flow to your lotus feet without any distraction. River Ganges is constantly flowing. So like that, my consciousness also should flow to the lotus feet of Krishna without any distraction. So she prays like that. And there is a point she's praying like that. Because the real essence of a devotee is faith in Krishna. Like you see when Jadabharata, what was the condition next time? He was the emperor of the world and he was moving like a Jadabharata. Is it Krishna neglected him? No. He is going to give him Vaikuntha. He is Vritasura, he was also the king of the Gandharvas, moving an aeroplane. He was cursed to become an Asura, a Rakshasa. But why? He was going back to God. So these things are not important, it's irrelevant. Money or no money, position or no position. What I want. Because Queen Kunti also wants. What is the warning? You cannot feelingly cry to Krishna if your four things are distracting you. Janma Shariya Shuta Shrivi Yenama Madhatumah. Janma Shariya. So if these things become a source of pleasure for me. See, the point is for service to Krishna, nothing wrong. But our main point is that even if it is there or not there, they don't give me a source of satisfaction. I have so much money now. This should not give you satisfaction. And neither it is a proof of my advancement in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada says, Tushti, Pushti. Yeah. So when we are advancing in Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says, you don't have to go to somebody, please give me a certificate, I am advancing in Krishna consciousness. Suppose when we are hungry, we eat food. With every morsel of food that we are eating, it will nourish. So Krishna consciousness is, a Prabhupada says, is a peaceful condition. Completely peaceful condition which a devotee can feel. Therefore, devotee should become very peaceful as he practices Krishna consciousness. So what is the Paramatma? What kind of jnana it is giving us? Smriti we explained. Paramatma is giving us Smriti because we keep desiring so many plans of sense gratification. So we are born in as a bird, we wanted to fly. I said, now you fly. Yes, I want to fly. That desire is manifest in the heart. You want to drink. So a situation is made. Liquor bottle a friend gives. Drink. No? The desire is manifest in the heart. So Krishna arranges that. So Mata Smriti, Jnanam. Jnana means it gives you knowledge, and the real knowledge Krishna gives you is to go back to his lotus feet. Yenama, by which you go back. Krishna, that is the focus. And with that you are satisfied. Apohanam cha, forgetfulness. Krishna makes us forget. So we should pray to Krishna. Prabhupada says, somebody wants to forget Krishna, Krishna will make him forget forever. Sometimes we desire sense gratification. But we know, I can't do as a devotee. So Krishna says, oh, that is a difficulty. I'll make you forget me forever. Do sense gratification. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very kind. Prabhupada says, if somebody desires sense gratification, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feels, why not I give him more pleasure of Krishna consciousness so that he can forget the sense gratification. In fact, devotee prays to Krishna. Krishna, even if by mistake, because Krishna has a position, Nityo Nityanam, Chaitanya Chaitananam, Ekabhavanam Vidadati, Krishna satisfies all our desires. So if you have developed a wrong desire, devotee prays to Krishna, Krishna, please don't satisfy that. In my foolishness, if I desire something strange, which is not good for me, please don't satisfy. That should be a prayer to the Lord. So because we may be, sometimes we desire certain things. So Lord is there in the heart. Another role Lord is playing in Anumanta and Upadishta. Is always sanctioning the bird example. The birds is overseeing our activity and our sanctioning. Because the Lord is always smiling, He is happily, blissfully situated in our hearts, completely knowing, He is very conscious of every desire that we have, and He is so kind. Prabhupada says Krishna is so kind actually. He is accompanying every living entity. He is so kindly accompanying us. He does not abandon any Atma at any condition. This world, it is not like that. And the world is very cruel. But the Paramatma is very kind. Very kind. In fact, Krishna teaches us how, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, what does it say? I am your best friend. Correct? What is the shloka? Bhogdanam ekadavasam saralokamayeshram suhridam sarvabhutanam suhridam. I am your best friend. Krishna proves it. And all of us, if we look at our life, Krishna shows us He is our best friend. So Krishna is there, and the best well-wisher with us. There is no need for us to be fearful at any situation. There is no need for us Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha, we are free from attack. There is no need to get unnecessarily attached to anything. There is no need from Bhaya to become fearful. There is no need to become angry at any situation. Krishna is always with us as a company, and we should take shelter of Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, completely, utterly you surrender to this Paramatma in your heart. You should completely surrender, and constantly we should pray. He is there, He is hearing our prayers. So constantly we should pray, oh Lord, this is my condition, this is my situation. Somehow I like to offer some service to you. Please be merciful and accept the service. Please guide me in what way I can serve you. Because Paramatma has come, is there in this world. Not only has come, the main business is He has come to take you back to Godhead. But Prabhupada said, you can be situated in Krishna consciousness if you are constantly engaged in fulfilling my mission. That is blessing. So how can I fulfill Srila Prabhupada's mission? You give me guidance. My Lord, you are there in my heart. So He is always there to guide us. Any question, any clarification? We can read the next book also. It is a beautiful meditation. Just we read. Onindra pankaj karnikalaye Yogeshara Patyapada Pallavam Yogeshwara Atapati Yogeshwara Sthapita Pada Pallavam Shri Lakshma Kaustava Ratna Kundaram Shri Lakshma Kaustava Ratna Kandaram Amlana Lakshmya Vanamalayachitam Unnidra Rumi Krita Ha Pankaja Lotus flower Karnikalaye on the surface of a bowl Yoga Ishvara the great mystics Asthapita placed Pada Pallavam, lotus feet. She, the goddess of moisture, or a beautiful cow. Lakshanam, Markandan. Kaustuva, the Kaustuva jewel. Ratna, other jewels. Kandaram, on the shoulder. Amlana, quite fresh. Lakshmya, beauty. Vanamalaya, by a flower garland. Achitam, spread over. His lotus feet are placed on the bowl of a lotus-like hearts of the great mystics. On his chest is the Kaustuva jewel, engraved with a beautiful carve, and the other jewels on his shoulders. His complete torso is garlanded with fresh flowers. His lotus feet are placed on the bowl of a lotus-like hearts of the great mystics. On his chest is a Kaustuva jewel, engraved with a beautiful carve. And there are other jewels on his shoulders. His complete torso is garlanded with fresh flowers. Purple. The ornament flower, oh, read.
The ornaments, flowers, clothing, and all the other decorations and represent the body of the personality of God are identical with the body of the Lord. None of them are made of material ingredients. Otherwise, there would be no chance of them decorating the body of the Lord. As such, in Paramayanama, spiritual varieties are also distinguished from the material varieties.
Okay. So the point is that whatever Krishna is having within is spiritual. It's not that the ornaments are dead metal that will rust after some time. Correct? Everything is spiritual, permanent. In fact, everything is a great devotee of the Lord. There is nothing dead matter in the spiritual realm. Everything is conscious. So everything, it is said that Krishna is wearing, even the weapons Krishna has, they are all great devotees. Sudarshana is worshipped in many temples. Sudarshan Chakra, Krishna is a great devotee. Krishna tells him, go, kill that man. You know that Krishna rotates it like a razor and he throws, puts an angle and he throws and doesn't hit, sometimes goes other direction. Not like that. Krishna, when he killed Shishupala, Krishna was not throwing a razor blade and then hitting. No. He tells Sudarshana, go. And he goes and kills. There was an example. There was a person who created a lot of disturbance and he attacked the city of, he wanted to throw some demons, some Rakshasa is created and it went to attack Dwaraka. Shalya. He created a Rakshasa, he created a Rakshasa, the Krishna book, stop reading him. He created a Rakshasa to attack Dwaraka. And then Krishna was playing with his devotee. So this is how the Rakshasa is coming, destroying everything. Krishna was playing maybe chess with his sons or something in one of the palaces. So Krishna told Sudarshana, go. So it's not that he gave to Sudarshana. Sudarshana went and he went to attack the Rakshasa. Kashi Raja. Kashi Raja was also there, but this was not made by Kashi Raja. No. Okay, somebody. True. He was there in the city of Kashi, so even Kashi city was burnt. That I remember, but something more. Anyway, Kashi, Rajasan or whoever it was. So that whole Kashi was burnt. So Sudarshana went. First he killed the demon that burned the whole Kashi. Not killed the demon. I think the demon ran back and he killed those people. Because when you create a Homa, they create a Rakshasa. If the Rakshasa doesn't kill that person, he comes and kills the person who created it. So he once comes and kills all those people who created, including that fellow. And the Sudarshana doesn't leave at that point. It destroys the whole city. So it's a great devotee of the Lord. In fact, this whole universe is ruled by Sudarshana. Whenever Rahu attacks the sun or moon, Sudarshana runs behind him. Therefore, otherwise he eats them up. Sudarshana comes, hey, and then he comes. Sudarshana is ruling. If you read in the Bhagavatam, the description of the hellish planets is there. Not the hellish planet, the low planetary system where the Danavas are ruling. They get scared when Sudarshana comes because he is the king. Sudarshana is like a very powerful personality, the great devotee of the Lord, all powerful. When there was this personality, Ambarish Maharaj, Durvasa Muni, that time also Sudarshana was just like, it's not that Krishna was sitting and aiming him at Durvasa, no. Sudarshana got off from his throne and he came to attack him. And he's more powerful than anybody else in the universe. Even Brahma and Shiva said, we can't help you. Sudarshana is chasing him, it's very powerful. So similarly, everything with Krishna is spiritual. But those things are a Shanta Rasa, because they cannot do active service, like garland cannot do active service. Garland is so happy and they are all spiritual. Krishna's garland is not that Krishna is wearing garland evening and to take it out at bride, no. Therefore, it is always spiritual. Sometimes a garland imitating that is given as a blessing by, in some Purana, somebody gets a garland, ever fresh garland he is given. But Krishna, everything with Krishna is completely spiritual and conscious. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki,